You ready? So, first things first, it's a quotient rule one. So, in this case, the top is U and the bottom is V, like so. Top, bottom. We all cool? Next thing, I'm going to write down what the quotient rule is. The quotient rule is V du dx minus U to V dx all over V squared. We all cool with that? Now, the next thing I'm going to do is the following. I'm going to do U is x, so therefore du dx is 1. Cool with that? V is x to the power of half plus 1. So what does that mean about the v dx? What do we think the v dx is, guys? A half to the front, yeah. And then what? Excellent. Cool with that? Okay. Now, believe it or not, this one doesn't actually have to look pretty. You don't have to do anything with it. Once you get to the stage where you input everything, any x's you see, just change them to 1. We don't have to do anything fancy with this one. So you'll see now. Okay, so what's phi again? Phi is x to the power of half plus 1. Du dx is 1. U. So I get u is x, and the v dx is a half. X minus a half. Okay, all over phi squared, which is this thing here. Now, doesn't that look? That's a nightmare, isn't it? That one. It's nightmare material, that. Okay, but here's the deal. I'm just going to copy the full thing. Ready? I'm just going to clone it on the next line. Okay, and here's what I'm going to do. Now that looks really bad. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're systematically going to work through it. What's 1 to the power of a half? What's 1 to the power of anything? 1. What's 1 plus 1? And what's 2 times 1? 2. All that changes to 2. Keep going in. What's this one now? X has now become 1. And this has become 1. What's 1 to the power of anything? What's a half times 1? A half. What's minus 1 times a half? Oh, deadly. Looking nicer now, isn't it? What's 1 to the power of a half? 1. What's 1 plus 1? What's 2 squared? There you go. And then it's 3 over 2 divided by 4, which is 3/8. Something that looked relatively impossible. Question 20. Now, here's what I'm thinking. What I'm thinking is, you ready? Can anybody tell me what root 16 over root 9 is? Anybody tell me the answer for that? So you guys use you can separate out the square root into 2 separate parts. Would you agree with that? And then the answer could be what's a 16 to the power of a half divided by 9 to the power of a half, which you all told me is 4 over 3. Given the information I just taught you, what do you think the first step in doing this question would be? Separate out what? Square root sign. So square root of 4x and then square root of x plus 3. We make this even easier on ourselves. There's another rule for square roots. I'll show you now. You ready for this rule here? Does everybody see root 18? Everybody see root 18? I can break that up into root 9 multiplied by root 2. Because what is 9 multiplied by 2? 18. I could also break it up into root 6 multiplied by root 3 if I want. And it's still root 18. What do you think I can break up 4x into? Root 4 by root, which is 2 root x. Now, guys, and what is 2 root x? It's x to the power of half. And the bottom here is x plus 3 to the power of a half. Don't be too fancy. What's it want us to do here? What does this part mean? Once we get the quotient rule, what are we doing with all the x values? We're replacing them with 1. Have we got that? Once we do the x values, we're replacing with 1. You guys now, I'll give you 5 minutes. Quotient rule that, please. So 2x power of a half. B is x plus 3 to the power of a half. And you're going to do the quotient rule. I'll blast this now. V is 2x power of a half. Du dx therefore must be a half times 2, which is just x. Take 1 away from the power, x to the power of minus a half. The other one is a half goes to the front. X plus 3 stays where it is. And then you take it to the power of minus a half. When you differentiate that, it's just 1, so you don't have to do anything. Now I go down and I write out the full formula here. It's going to be x plus 3 to the power of a half. And then it's du dx, which is x to the power of minus a half. Then it's u, which is 2x to the power of a half. Then it's the v dx, which is a half x plus 3 to the power of minus a half. Ouch. And then all over v squared. V squared is just squaring a square root, isn't it? It's squaring x plus 3, root x plus 3. So the bottom will just be x plus 3. Now this looks very tough. It is. But let's take it step by step. What happens to the first bracket? What do I put in here? I put in x equals 1. What's 1 plus 3? What's 4 to the power of a half? 2. What's 1 to the power of anything? 1. 2 times 1 to the power of a half? 1 to the power of anything is 1. 2 times that is 2. 1 plus 3? Well, 1 plus 3 is 4. What's 4 to the power of minus a half? It's a half. What's a half times the other half? Quarter. So it's 2 times a quarter. And then on the bottom, it's 4 on the bottom. So it's 2 take away a half, which is a half. A half divided by 4 is an 8. Anybody get there? Sorry, 2 take away a half is 3 halves. 3 halves divided by 4 is 3 eighths. Who got 3 eighths? Well, hey,